The Galactic Assembly had always been a place of diplomacy and measured discussions, where disagreements were settled with words, not weapons. For millennia, it had functioned as the beating heart of interstellar politics. But that balance was shattered when the Kelvuk Dominion declared war on the United Federations of Lyrics. It wasn't just a war, it was a declaration of supremacy, a reminder that brute force still ruled the cosmos. The Kelvuk were relentless, a species bred for conquest. Their soldiers were genetically enhanced, their ships bristling with plasma cannons capable of tearing through planetary shields. They swept through Lyrixian territory, leaving smoldering ruins in their wake. The Galactic Assembly watched helplessly as one star system after another fell. Pleas for assistance went unanswered. No one dared challenge the Kelvuk. That was until the humans joined the war. Humanity had been a late addition to the Assembly, a young and relatively unknown species from a remote arm of the galaxy. Most regarded them as insignificant, a minor player with little to offer. They were newcomers, observers, and traders, not warriors. Yet when the Lyrixians sent out a desperate cry for help, it was the humans who answered. The announcement came during an emergency session of the Assembly. Representatives from hundreds of species gathered in the Great Hall, their holographic forms shimmering under the vaulted ceiling. The Lyrixian ambassador, a tall, crystalline being named Velith, stood at the center, her voice a trembling plea. Our worlds burn. Our people are slaughtered. If no one stands with us, the Kelvuk will consume us all. Silence followed. The Kelvuk representative, a hulking figure encased in black exoskeletal armor, smirked smugly. He leaned back in his chair, talons tapping on the armrest. Then, a human stepped forward. Ambassador Marcus Holt, a figure most had barely noticed until now, cleared his throat. The Terran coalition will stand with the Lyrixians, he said, his tone calm but resolute. The room erupted in murmurs of disbelief. The Kelvuk representative let out a guttural laugh. You stand against us? Your species is barely out of its cradle. Do you truly believe your fleets can withstand ours? Marcus didn't flinch. We'll see. The first human fleets arrived within weeks. Their ships were unassuming, lacking the ornate designs or intimidating sizes of other galactic powers. They were gray, practical, and almost primitive-looking compared to the sleek vessels of the Kelvuk. But appearances were deceiving. The Kelvuk's first encounter with human forces took place in the Vega Expanse. A Kelvuk battle group, 10 warships strong, descended on a Lyrixian colony, expecting an easy victory. Instead, they found themselves ambushed. Human ships emerged from the shadows of the asteroid belt, their movements precise and coordinated. They moved like predators, striking hard and fast. The Kelvuk's plasma cannons fired in all directions, but the human vessels danced around their shots, using the asteroids as cover. When the humans returned fire, they did so with weapons no one had seen before. Railguns that accelerated slugs to near-light speed, piercing Kelvuk hulls like paper. Within minutes, the Kelvuk battle group was destroyed. Not a single human ship was lost. Word spread quickly. Humanity wasn't just fighting the Kelvuk, they were outthinking them. Human commanders employed tactics that defied conventional logic, using feints, ambushes, and guerrilla-style warfare. They turned space itself into a weapon, detonating mines in hyperspace lanes and using gravity wells to trap enemy fleets. And then there were the soldiers. Kelvuk ground forces were unmatched in sheer brute strength. Their warriors were 2 meters tall, with razor-sharp claws and muscles like steel cables. They had crushed every opponent they faced, but when they met human marines on the battlefield, they encountered something new. Human soldiers fought with a ferocity that stunned the galaxy. They were smaller and physically weaker than the Kelvuk, but they compensated with unmatched ingenuity and a refusal to yield. They used advanced exosuits, drones, and directed energy weapons. But it wasn't just their technology, it was their spirit. They fought as though retreat was not an option, as though defeat was inconceivable. In one infamous battle on the desert moon of Tarsis Ilu, a human platoon held off an entire Kelvuk battalion for 3 days. Outnumbered 10-1, they dug in, using the terrain to their advantage. By the time reinforcements arrived, The Kelvok forces had been annihilated. Kelvok's confidence began to waver. For the first time in their history, they faced an enemy who didn't fear them. Humanity's defiance was contagious. Other species, inspired by the humans' bravery, began to rally to their cause. The once one-sided war became a galactic uprising. In the assembly, the Kelvok representative grew increasingly agitated. He slammed his clawed hand on the table during a heated session. "This is unacceptable. Your species violates the natural order. You are vermin, yet you dare challenge us?" Marcus Holt remained composed. "We're not challenging you," he said. "We're ending you." The final battle took place above the Larixian homeworld. The Kelvok had assembled their largest fleet yet, determined to crush the rebellion. Humanity, now leading a coalition of dozens of species, met them in orbit. The two armadas faced off, stretching across the void like two opposing tides. The battle was chaos. Ships clashed in a swirling melee, missiles and energy beams lighting up the darkness. But once again, humanity's tactics prevailed. They used decoy ships to draw Kelvok fire, then unleashed a new weapon, the Nova Lance, a directed energy beam capable of splitting a battleship in half. By the time the dust settled, the Kelvok fleet was in ruins. Their flagship, the Dominion's Wrath, drifted as a lifeless hulk. The war was over. In the aftermath, the Galactic Assembly convened to discuss the future. Marcus Holt stood before the gathered representatives, his presence now commanding respect. "Let this war be a lesson," he said. "Strength isn't about muscle or firepower. It's about standing up for what's right, no matter the odds. Humanity didn't fight because we wanted to. We fought because we had to. And we'll do it again if anyone threatens the peace we built together." The assembly erupted in applause. Humanity had not only saved the Larixians, they had changed the galaxy's perception of them. They were no longer newcomers. They were protectors, warriors, and above all, a force to be reckoned with. And so, when humans joined the war, everyone cowered in fear, not because of their power, but because of their resolve.